So, welcome to 2024, and to start off the new year, I thought it would be fun to throw together this incredibly obnoxious tier list. Let me tell you, I looked on this site for all different kinds of existing tier lists, but they were all really wonky. They all had different kinds of art pieces, all the icons were different sizes. I'm not really into that. I wanted to make sure everything looked nice and as samey as possible. So I went and made all of these 241 icons you see right here. That is what took so long and why this wasn't recorded and made earlier. So, there we go. Anywho, I suppose I should talk about the tiers. Unlike the last Pokemon Smasher Pass tier list I put together with the Mesmer Medical team, I'm going a lot simpler here. Today, we are going to do just what the title says. We are going to look at every single trainer that I thought was worth mentioning from the games. And we're going to grade them on a scale of effectively 1 to 5. The top is the Living Legend. These are all of the trainers that are just top of the line. They have incredible accomplishments, they have a great bond with their team, they have a good personality, all of that. Because we are grading literally everything that we can think of when it comes to these trainers. How difficult they are to fight, their lore, their skill in game, all that other nonsense. Elite. This is the tier for people who are clearly good at their job. These are probably going to end up being a lot of well-known and popular trainers that people like because they have, lore, personality, and skill. Professional, that's the middle tier. That's going to be for all the trainers who can clearly make it as a trainer. Then we got amateur. Now this tier is for the trainers that might be missing a few things. They're either beginners or an embarrassment, but they're not dumpster fires. And that's what this last one's for. The dumpster tier here is for all those dumpster fires who really shouldn't be Pokemon trainers. In fact, I think they should probably be thrown into the trash can at the earliest convenience. So, with that started, let's just get into it and cover all of these trainers. They are grouped up by region, so I guess we're starting with Generation 7, going into Alola with Faba over here. So Faba is one of those Aether reps, which I guess is worth a few points. He's decent. I don't think he's dumpster fire. He's a dumpster fire of a person, but I don't think he's worth the dumpster tier. He doesn't have many Pokemon as far as I can remember. And I'm not sure if he is a title defense. But if he is, that might be worth professional alone, because if you can do a title defense against him, 6 Pokemon all insanely high levels. Yeah, I'm gonna put him at amateur for now. He feels like more of a researcher than an actual trainer, and I don't really like him. He's got a shitty personality. Guzma, on the other hand, has a much better personality. He's pretty darn skilled. He's got a good team. He is a title defense. He's also an evil team leader that had some pretty good success, so I'm gonna put him and Plumeria as well in professional, because I think Plumeria is also a title defense, and that alone is worth not the amateur. Plus, she's got a good personality. She's the leader, or second in command of an evil team, so she's got some accomplishments under her belt. She's got things going for her. Glucamine. Pretty dangerous person. Very mommy yandere. And if you've seen my last video, you know that's something that I like. Also an evil team leader, which I think is a pretty worthwhile metric. So, yeah, I'm gonna put her under elite. She's practically a final boss, and that's definitely worth something in terms of skill and accomplishment. I think she's also like the leader of the Aether Foundation. That itself is definitely worth something. Let's see. We have the Alola region Elite Four: Acerola, Hala, Kahili, Molayne, and Olivia. I can't really consider Acerola an amateur. She's strong, but she's also young. I think I'm gonna put her in the professional tier. I don't know if I'd call her elite quite yet. Hala, though, he's a pretty good trainer. He gives, I think he gives the starter Pokemon. No, he doesn't give the starter Pokemon. That's still Kukui. He does teach the young trainers of the Alola region, and he is the kahuna of the first island, which everyone does start on, I believe. So, yeah, I'll make him an elite. Kahili we don't know enough about. I'm just gonna put her in professional. I can't rank her any higher than that. I like Molayne. Molayne's a pretty cool dude. He's a researcher and a scientist, so of course I should like him, given who I am. And he's got a frightening team. He's got at least a Metagross, and we know that's a champion's ace. So, you can go to the elites. I like Olivia. Olivia's okay. She's an Elite Four, which is definitely worth some points. She's also a kahuna. She's also hot, and we know that that's worth points. She's not an amateur. She's not a dumpster fire. Question is whether she's elite or professional. I don't think she's worth living legend. We'll put her in elite for now. Okay, now we have the two kahunas that are not Elite Four members. Hoppo is a title defense. That's worth some points. That means she has a team that surpasses the Elite Four. So... But she does kind of have a crappy personality, in my opinion. Yeah, we'll rank her at elite. Nanu. Look, he has to go up there. We all know Nanu is constantly holding back or choosing not to do things just because he doesn't feel like it. He could probably be a title defense if he wanted. He was offered the position of an Elite Four member. I think I'm perfectly justified in putting him up here in the elite tier. Okay. Honestly, with Kukui, he's interesting. We know he beat some gyms in Kanto. It's unknown how far he got. We know he's effectively a champion fight in Sun and Moon. And in Ultra Sun and Moon, I think Kukui is a title defense? Either way, he is really good, and he's a cool professor with a cool wife. I didn't include Burnett on the board. She's not really well known for being a trainer. And with all of his research... You know what? Fuck it. I'm putting our first living legend up there. I like Kukui a lot, and I think his name would be well known basically everywhere. Well worth living legend. This is final boss status. This is Sephiroth status. Now we get the protagonists, Elio and Celine. Yeah, I am putting the protagonists on here. I know that they are kind of blank slates, but they're also really scary with their just blank eyes that are unending and unseeing and pain and panic. But I think that's kind of funny. That's why they're up here. So, notable accomplishments. Defeating Ultra Necrozma, that should be worth something. Becoming champion, these two are canonically the first champion of Alola. I don't think there's enough in the games to separate the two of them, or in other media to make me biased. So, I think... yeah, I think I want to put them, for the moment, I want to put them near the front of Elite. Yeah, they can sit in the front of Elite. I'm going to switch them just because it makes their images look better. Gladion. Let's see, he's a title defense battle. He's a good rival, honestly. Like, actually a pretty good rival. I'm gonna put him right here for now. I'm also gonna reorganize this tier a bit. There we go. Yeah, I think I've got to do that. How? The rival. Ugh. Okay, this one's tough. For anyone who knows me, you know that I don't like How. I don't like that he's constantly optimistic. I don't like that they off-screened his character development in the Ultra games. I don't like that he's, like, billed as the protagonist while you are his rival. That's not exactly a fun or entertaining thing. It's a cool little theory, and it makes a few choices make sense, but I don't know. I just think it was done so much better the next generation, and we actually had character development on screen for that. But we'll talk more about that when we actually get to Generation 8, which is next, so it won't be long. But I think for that reason, I have to dock How some points. He's not a dumpster fire, and he's not an amateur. I'm gonna put him at professional, but we'll see about that. I'm also gonna rename this, because I've said it enough. We're just gonna call it dumpster fire. Alright, Ilima. I really don't care. He's better than Faba. His Smeargle can be obnoxious, so I think that's worth a couple points. I think he's got a decent team that you can battle in post-game, but I don't care enough about Ilima to rank him any higher than amateur. Okay, now the rest of the trial captains. Kiawe's okay. I'm not a big fan of Kiawe, at least not his game counterpart. He's decent. I believe his battle is pretty difficult. I don't remember if it's Sun or Moon. I think it's Sun that you fight him in, and Mallow gets Moon. I don't know. He is an older trial captain, which is worth some points, I think. Because when he ages out, he could do other things. Maybe low professional tier? He's definitely above Kahili. Okay, Lana. We're gonna move on to Lana. I like Lana. I think she's worth a professional tier, just like Kiawe, probably ahead of Kiawe. And we're also going to put Mallow up here. Lana and Mallow are both on the younger end. I think Lana's probably like 12 or 13, and Lana is 12 or 13, and Mallow's probably in the range of 14 to 16. I'd put Kiawe at like 15 to 17, somewhere around there. Maybe he's contemporary with Mallow, I don't know. But that is probably how I'd rank these three. I can definitely see these three having a future later on, so I would definitely rank them no lower than professional. Mina, so she is a little lazy, although she deals with the strongest totem, and that totem is terrifying in the Ultra games if you're not prepared or able to deal with it. Her team is also not half bad as far as I recall. She's kind of a nothing in base Sun and Moon, which I guess docks some points. She does appear in Let's Go, paradoxically, because it really makes no sense for her to be there, but I guess they wanted a fairy trainer. Above Kahili. I'm not sure she's got as much of a future ahead of her. She sounds like the type who would retire and just kind of hang out with her Pokemon. But I think she's got enough personality and accomplishments to keep her out of the amateur department. I'm sorry, Sophocles. You're better than Ilima, but God, you annoy me. And yes, I'm biased. I am very biased, and my bias will affect this tier list. But my opinion is fact, and you know this. Let's move on to Galar. With the... yeah, we're gonna move on to Galar with Leon. Okay, so about Leon. Everyone bills him as the ultimate champion, but I honestly don't think he's that unbeatable. He's good. Trust me, he is good. He is a tough fight if you're not prepared. But I don't think he's the unbeatable champion that everyone bills him to be. He's good, and I like him as a character. I think he's got an interesting setup with him. He feels like a He feels like a former player character, and I think that's worth some points. But is he better or as good as Kukui? I don't think so. I think this is the first champion, well, not counting the Sun and Moon protagonists, that I've got to rank kinda low. I'm gonna put him... Oh, this one's tough. He didn't actually beat Eternatus, so I think I'm going to put him behind Elio and Celine. Yeah, I'm gonna put him here. He's good. And I know I've said he's good like 4 times already, but I don't think he's great. Mustard, on the other hand, is another former champion. He had, like, I think the longest tenure as champion. 18 years. This guy's insanely good. He's got an Urshifu. I think even 2 Urshifu, essentially. Unless he only has the one that you don't have. I don't know. But I guess you could consider him having both, since, you know, you can choose either one and then he'll have the other. I guess it's unimportant, but I like him a lot. He runs his that dojo. He basically owns the entirety of the Isle of Armor, I think. And he's a pretty swell dude. But is he living legend? No one really talks about him in Galar. Probably because they're too cash money about Leon, I guess. I don't know. They're all obsessed with him. I'm gonna put him at the top of Elite for now and leave him there. Maybe I'll move him into Living Legend when I think about some more of these characters. Peony, he is another former champion. He uses Steel-type Pokemon, so I am very biased towards him. I like Steel-types, they're good. But, let's see. He is a bit of a legendary hunter, which is kind of rad. He's got a daughter that he's just wants to be a cool dad for. Yeah, I think that's worth points. Honestly, I'd rank him around Leon. I'll put him behind Leon for now. Alistair, the first of the gym leaders here in this list. I like Alistair. He's a decently ranked trainer, and if I recall, if you're playing Shield, he does effectively function as a member of the Elite Four, because he's in that last match with, well, B would be in there as well, so I'm gonna put him rather, and B, they're gonna go in the same spot. Bea? B? I'm gonna go with B. Better than Hapu. Both of you are better than Hapu. Points, extra points, I suppose, that put B ahead. She can literally punch out a Machamp, and that's scary. She trains alongside her fighting types, which I think is well worth some extra points. Extra credit at the very least. Avery. I never had to deal with Avery. I had Clara. I played Sword, not Shield. But, I think there's a reason that he counts as a minor league gym leader. I'm gonna put him above Mina, but no higher. And that's the same thing I'm gonna do with Clara. And Clara's gonna go ahead. Gordy! He's like a social media influencer or something. I don't think you fight him in the Pseudo Elite Four battle, but he is still pretty strong. But I also don't like him. I'm gonna rank him the same as Avery. Kabu. I like Kabu. He's a bit of a niche gym leader. I think it's cool that he was kicked into the minor leagues and then worked his way back up. I like that he's from Hoenn. I am a Hoenn baby. Emerald was the first game that I played, or rather that I was able to play. Yeah, didn't own a system until Emerald came out. Better than Kahili. I think we can make that a pretty solid metric. I, of course, didn't fight Melanie. I think she's more interesting than her son, though, so she gets to go here. Milo, we don't really know too much about Milo, but I don't want to rank him as an amateur, so I'm going to put him in professional. Bottom of the tier, probably, with Kahili. Nessa. I like Nessa a lot. Nessa's cool. She's got a lot of lore connecting her to Raihan, Leon, and Sonia, and I think that's worth a lot of points. She is effectively a member of the Elite Four. And I think my bias is going to put her... ahead of Gladion. Opal. The crazy, chaotic old woman who's obsessed with pink even though her favorite color is purple. I love her her gym battle. Her gym battle forcing you to answer questions for status for stat buffs is really funny. I think it would be more amusing if you got a stat debuff if you got the wrong question, as opposed to, I think her Pokemon gets a stat buff, but fuck it, I'm putting her on Elite because I think she's fun. I think she was contemporary with Mustard. They were, I think, fighting, Mustard was a fighting gym leader, and she was a fairy gym leader on the circuit at the same time. She might have even been his champion fight. I like Piers. I respect that he doesn't use Dynamax. He's just a cool guy overall, and one of the reasons why Pokemon needs voice acting. I guess the fact that he doesn't have voice acting should be insanely disappointing and worth a few points of deduction, but I don't care. I'm gonna put him up here with Nessa. I'm gonna do the same with Raihan. I think he's worth an elite. Lore does say that he's basically as strong as some champions in other regions, so that gives him some extra points. He does effectively function as an Elite Four member, so yeah, we're gonna keep him up there. So, okay, Magnolia. Now, she is an unbattleable professor, so that's gonna dock some points, but I did include her because, I mean, look at me. How can I not respect my fellow lab coats? So, let's put her... I mean, with all her accomplishments, studying Dynamax energy, she doesn't actually give out a Pokemon, which should be some point docking, because we don't know if she's actually owned any Pokemon. I presume she does. The bird on her staff makes me think she would have used a Corviknight. I'm gonna put her ahead of Kabu, but towards the back of Professional. I think that's fair. Sonia, we know she's a trainer. We know she started the gym circuit. I don't think she finished it, but she at least fought Opal. She became a new professor, wrote a book, and that book is the only connective tissue we have in Paldea, so that's worth a lot of points in my book. She's also got a Yamper, and that Yamper is presumably quite powerful. And I respect that she never evolved it. I'm gonna put her... Yeah, I'm gonna show my bias. I'm gonna put her above Raihan. I like her more. Yes, that will decide things. Okay. On to the protagonists, Gloria and Victor. So this is the first time where we're going to have a different ranking for the two of these, purely because Gloria is a meme. And while I like Victor and Gloria quite a lot, and they have some incredible accomplishments under their belts, including becoming champion, beating Leon, fighting Eternatus, I don't think I can rank Victor much higher than Leon. I'd probably rank them the same, but I don't think anyone will fight me for putting Gloria up in Living Legend. Alright. Moving on to Bede, because I don't want to spend too much time on these guys. We still have over 200 of these trainers to go through, and this video, I don't want it to be super long. Bede, let me see. The first asshole rival we've had in a while. Gladian's, I guess, kind of an asshole. He also just frickin' breaks into the Champion Cup. Which I think is pretty cool. You gotta have balls for that. You know what? He's not really the greatest trainer at first, but then he learns to, like, love his Pokemon and whatnot and respect people a bit more. He's got a good arc, so I think I'm gonna put him here. I think that's definitely worthwhile. Okay, now I mentioned back when we did Hop that we'd talk more about, I mentioned when we did How that I would talk more about Hop. And that's because they're basically the same character. They share a bunch of animations. Sun and Moon was originally going to have a champion like Leon, and that would probably make How a brother or related to that champion, but they ditched that storyline once they created the Trial Captains, I believe. So, I want to talk about Hop's growth. We actually get to see it on screen. We get to see him make a choice to become a professor, Even if I don't think Professor would be the job for him, I think Hop would be a much better Pokemon Ranger. But I genuinely think he had a better arc and a better character than his brother. I would rank him above his brother right now in terms of trainer ability, accomplishments, everything. And he only did that by breaking away from being under his brother's shadow. Actually, I've got to move Bede up. I'm also going to put Marnie up here with Hop. Hop, Marnie, and Bede are probably the best rivals that we have had. Well, they're not worse than Nimona, Arven, and Penny, but we'll get to my feelings about those three later. For now, I want to call these three pretty top dog. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Okay, on to Generation 3. We're going to look at Hoenn. And we're using their Omega Ruby images where I can, because they look better. And the art's nicer. So, we're going to do Archie and Maxie at the same time, because they're effectively the same person. No, that's a lie, but they're essentially worth the same amount. They almost end the world, which I suppose is worth some points. Emerald, I played Emerald the first time, as you know, and that is one of my favorite scenes, where the weather is just going haywire because both of them release legendary Pokemon, and they're all like, oh my god, I've been such an idiot. So, you know what? Considering they can also be your partner in a battle facility, I'm going to give them a couple extra points. I'm going to put them... above... Nah, they're kind of the same as Nanu. That's where I'd kind of put them, around there. Alright, Courtney, Matt, Shelly, and Tabitha, the admins of their respective teams. Alright, let's be honest here. Courtney gets extra points for being a meme. I like how she basically talks like a robot in the remakes. And her uniform's pretty sick. I don't know why she decided to wear horns, but it works. I'm gonna put her on par with her boss. I don't think Matt and Shelly are as interesting. Shelly does have that interesting connection with Archie. They knew each other. They both met Jirachi, which I think is well worth an extra point. So, yeah. I'm gonna put those two together then. I just like Courtney a little bit more for her memes. But I don't think I can rank Matt or Tabitha any higher than... I'll put him behind Clara. I like Matt more than Tabitha. Tabitha's just kind of an ass the whole time. Matt, at least I believe, if I recall anyway, shows you a bit of respect, so I think that's worth noting. Now we get our champions of the Hoenn region. Between Steven Stone and Wallace, what would I say? You know what? Steven gets extra bonus points for being a super boss. Post-game super boss. Really difficult, really cool. He has a Mega Metagross. And he did make it into the Masters 8 in the anime, even though I'm technically not counting the anime here, just the games. You know what? I'm gonna call him a living legend. I like him a lot. He might even be top 3 champions to me, so I think that's worth a lot of points. Wallace, not only is he a champion, but he's also a contest star. And I think that should earn him a few extra points. I'm gonna put him up here with Peony. I think that's a worthy ranking. Drake. Drake is cool. A former ship captain. He might have even had something to do with Sea Mauville. I don't know if he has anything to do with the crashed ship in the original trio of games, but he's still badass. He's got a Salamence, which is one of the most absurd pseudo-legends. And he's an Elite Four member. Yeah, I'm gonna put him up here. Glacia does not nearly have anything as interesting. I'm even gonna put her below Nanu. She's good, but there's really nothing going for her. I don't think we even know anything about her. Phoebe gets bonus points for having ghost girls. And I'm biased towards ghost trainers, so I'm gonna put her up here with Raihan. I think that's fair. Sydney is the same as Glacia. There's really nothing going for either of them. On to the gym leaders. I think you're kind of seeing the basic path here. A lot of the gym leaders are going to end up in the professional section, assuming they don't have anything that acts as a deterrent or boosting them a little bit higher. And Elite Four members are going to be largely sitting here in Elite, unless they have something that docks them or pushes them up. So I think for that reason, we're just going to blow through a few of these not as notable gym leaders. I'm not saying that these Gen 3 gym leaders have anything against them. Brawly's cool. He's actually a pretty difficult fight if you don't go out of your way to raise something super effective from elsewhere. Flannery's fun. I liked that she got the gym from her grandfather. I like to think that her grandfather used to be a member of the Elite Four, so there's this, like, passing of the torch here. Juan is boring. In fact, I'm going to put Juan in Dumpster Fire. He's really boring. He only showed up in Emerald. The only thing he has going for him is a Kingdra with a really annoying set, so we're just going to keep going. The question is whether I would put any of these gym leaders above. They're definitely... yeah, they're up here. They're definitely more interesting. And I would argue more successful. I'm gonna put the twins together. I think it's cool that they're twins. They're not as interesting to me. I'll put their images right next to each other. Norman gets bonus points for being your dad. Roxanne gets some extra points, I think, for being a bit difficult for early game. Watson loses points because he doesn't have a Manectric aside from Emerald. Winona's cool. Right around there. Yeah, we'll do that. The Frontier Brains. Now these guys are really interesting. Excuse me, good lord, why am I hiccuping? I've never actually encountered them in game. Except for Pike Queen Lucy. I want to say I fought her once. And I did not do well. I was never well prepared for the Battle Frontier. Maybe I'll do that sometime. I think it would be fun to try to stream beating the Battle Frontier, but training for that is going to be incredibly difficult, since getting a suitable Pokemon for that is a lot harder than it was in than it is in later games, I should say. We can lean on Pokemon Masters a little bit for these guys, but I don't think they're that crazy. I do believe all 6 of them have access to a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry, all 7 of them have access to legendary Pokemon. Some of them have access to 2 legendary Pokemon, which is insane. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna put every single one of them above Leon in Elite. I think I'm gonna kind of order them in the order of difficulty. Nolan, unfortunately, goes towards the end. It's not that he's not difficult, it's just that he doesn't really have a set team. Because he's, the Battle Factory. I like Spencer. He plays this, old man persona just to mess with people, so that gives some bonus points. Greta's pretty cool. She's, very Genki. I think she's gonna go above that. I'm not really fond of Tucker. I just don't really care for him all that much. He's cool and flamboyant and excitable, but I never really got into him all that much. I didn't also really see much of him. Okay. Moving on to Birch. I like Birch. Birch is cool. He's a bit of a crazy, crazy freak of a dad in that he's really stupid sometimes. Gets caught by a Poochyena or a Zigzagoon. In the remakes, you can get a bunch of other starters from him because he gets scared by things, including his own wife, which is just really funny. And I think that alone puts him above the other gym leaders, but since he's not battleable, I'm not gonna put him higher than the Hoenn gym leaders. Okay, Brendan and May. And I'm also gonna lump in Wally here. So as far as protagonists go, Brendan and May do enough. They're responsible for saving the world. They can catch Rayquaza, which is well worth their time. They even do and Mega Evolve him in the... what's the word I'm looking for? In the remakes. But I don't... Thinking about it, I'm actually going to shift Victor down. Because I think these two surpass Victor. As for Wally, I don't think he's as good. I am going to put him ahead of the Battle Frontier Brains, though, because he does appear in Sun and Moon as a member of that battle facility, the Battle Tree. And I think he's pretty darn tough, so... But has he befriended legendary Pokemon? No. But his arc is good, he has a good rivalry. Yeah, I'm going to keep him ahead. Lucia... Yeah, I'm gonna put her here. I like Lucia. She's got a really good story with contests. I like that she's related to Wallace. That is really neat, just having some connective tissue between them. But I don't want to spend too much time on her. Zinnia. Zinnia is cool. I think that alone, her lore and everything. We're gonna keep that sneeze in. You can add that to the currency bank if you like. But is she as interesting as the evil team leaders? I'm gonna go with yes. More interesting than those Elite Four members. I'll put her around Lusamine. Now we're going into the Johto arc with the members of the, I guess, somewhat revived Team Rocket, the executives, Archer, Ariana, Petrel, and Proton. They're not as cool as Archie or Maxie. I'm gonna put them all around the other evil team executives that we've got here. Yeah, we're gonna do that. They're pretty good, worth professional. One sec. And we're back. Sorry, I forgot to loop the background music, because I'm smart. But we're not going to reset this because we've already got a lot of the list done, so we're just going to keep going. So, Karen. Elite Four member of Johto. She's got that cool speech about using Pokemon you like. I think that's worth quite a few points. But aside from that, she really doesn't have much going for her. I don't think Masters gives us too much, Pokemon Masters EX. She does have an ancestor in Hisui, which seems to also connect her to the Dragon Clans. So I think that's worth something. We'll put her around Phoebe. And we'll put Will around Hala, I think. I think that's fair. And yeah, I'm letting a bit of my bias in. We're gonna actually put him at the top of the shitty Elite Four section, which is just Glacia and Sydney right now. Bugsy. Let's see. Bugsy's actually pretty cool. If I remember, he's doing a bit of research in the, those Ruins of Alph. He's got a Mega Beedrill in Pokemon Masters EX, so that's worth a couple points. But I don't think I want to rank him much higher than, like, Kahili and Kaba. You can go here. I'm also going to skip ahead a bit. I'm going to take Faulkner. I'm going to put him right there. Chuck. Better than Bugsy. Claire. I kind of want to put Claire in Dumpster Fire for being a bitch to the player character, but I'm going to be a little bit more fair. She's better than Hapu. Yeah, better than Hapu. Honestly, Hapu would be ranked higher if I didn't dislike her personality. There's a reason why the only art they have of her online is her concept art. She never got a proper, like, Sugimori thing. Janine. Janine's okay. I like Janine. I'm gonna put her up here with Winona. I'm actually gonna move Chuck to above Watson. Morty can sit with Janine as well. I like him. He's cool. I like what he does. Price is not as interesting. He goes with the uninteresting gym leaders. Whitney is a bitch. and an ascended meme, so I'm gonna put her at the bottom of the elite tier. I don't think she really should be at the elite tier, but we're gonna put her there anyway. I'm gonna put Elm up here with Birch. He is a bit of a scatterbrain, but he is the one responsible for giving you the first Pokemon egg, so I think that's cool. Now we have our protagonists. We have Ethan, Chris, and Lyra. Okay. Worth noting for these three, they fight red. And no one else on this board has ever fought red. And it's possible for you to win against red. I'm also gonna let my bias seep through a bit. Chris went like nearly 20 years not existing after she was summarily replaced by Lyra. But then she comes back in Pokemon Masters and kicks a ton of ass with her Feraligatr. So I'm going to put her... Yeah. I'm actually going to put this trio at the top of the elite. Whereas all of these four over here have legendary Pokemon, these three potentially capture all three of the legendary beasts, which I think is worth a bit of extra credit there. Especially with Chris's focus in Crystal being on Suicune, making it literally something that you catch. As a part of the story, even. Silver's cool. He's probably one of the better rivals. I'm gonna put him around the same level as Bede, though. There's not as much plot around him. He's connected to Giovanni, of course, as his son. It's very likely that Ariana's his mom. I even like the theory that Mars here might be a sister. It looks like we're moving into Kalos now with the team leaders of Flare. So this is interesting. We can battle all of these random hot girls, scientists. I like that they're scientists. I like that that puts them ahead of the admins, which are just unknown, unnamed trainers that only appear, I think, twice. So they're really not important. The scientists are really the leaders here. Unfortunately, I can't tell you which is which. I think this one's Mabel, I think this one's Celosia, and this one's like Briony or something. I can't... The names mean nothing. The hair means nothing. There is almost nothing to go with these characters. And that's disappointing. They could be leagues more interesting. So for that, I'm going to put all four of them in the disappointing tier. But I am going to arrange them in order of favorites. Yeah, that's what I'll do. As for Zerosek, we know a little bit more about him. He's the one who turns on the ultimate weapon anyway. I'm going to put him around Matt's level. I think that's fair. Lysander's cool, though. He basically no-use himself and just blows up his own base, which takes balls. But is he more fun than Guzma? Actually, you know what? Guzma, Plumeria, I'm gonna bump you up. You get to sit above Claire. And for that, I'm gonna put Lysander also above Claire. He's got a Mega Evolution, he's scary as hell, He's really obviously a bad guy, though. Which I guess adds some points to it. He's pretty fun. Diantha, a disappointing champion. But she is a champion, so I'm going to rank her at the bottom of Elite. Drasna's also disappointing, and we really don't have a lot going for her. She's more interesting than Kahili, but God, there's nothing there. Malva. She's got ties to Team Flare, which I think is worth points. She runs the Holocauster thing. She's actually really cool and does a lot. So in addition to being strong, even if it's in Kalos, one of the only regions that doesn't have new teams and rematches, and like a weird addiction to not having a full team, which means she's kind of disappointing, so that's worth a couple less points, but I'm going to put her up by her boss. I'm going to put Seabold and Wickstrom up here as well. Actually, I'm going to put him above Diantha. Moving into the gym leaders. So here's Clement, 5th gym leader. He's got an annoying sister. His gym puzzle's okay. I don't think he's elite. He's not as interesting as Norman. He's probably Brawly levels. I'd say the same with Grant. Karina gets extra points for having a Mega Evolution. I'm gonna put her right here. Olympia's pretty cool, but again, she's got like nothing going for her in terms of lore and personality. Same with Ramos. Honestly, Ramos goes all the way down here with Milo. Valerie is cool. Like, she's going up here with Karina for just having a really neat setup, backstories that connect her to being a potential kimono girl or Bill's like sister or something. She's also got like that weird fairy eye thing going for her that Ilima also has. There's this theory that Ilima was originally going to be the fairy type gym leader, trial captain, because of the whole like pink and creepy eyes thing, and that Mina was going to be the normal one because she's got the the painter aesthetic. I think it's even said that Ilima's Smeargle came from Mina. So, you're a pair with Roxanne. I don't think you're the worst thing ever, Viola. Wolfric is disappointing, though. You should have had a Mega Abomasnow. I'm putting you next to Watson. Professor Sycamore, one of the champions you can actually battle. Might even be the first you can battle without a glitch. You don't battle Rowan, you don't battle Juniper. Yeah, first champion you can battle that is not through a glitch. He's not a particularly strong trainer, though. But for his research in Mega Evolution, I think that at least puts him above Diantha. Okay, Callum and Serena. Mega Evolution gives them some points. The fact that they're forced to capture Yveltal or Xerneas, that's worth points. I think they're around the same tier as Brendan and May. These four are all effectively weighted the same. Callum's just the least interesting of the three. Of the four, I should say. Okay, I don't think I really need to say more about that. I'm gonna rank Shauna at the top of Amateur because I can't hate her. She's got the Kalos curse of having barely any Pokemon, being a complete useless toe rag, but at least she does something that differentiates her from Tierno and Trevor. Honestly, they're almost less... These two are almost more disappointing than one. And that is saying something. This guy only cares about dancing. This guy never is ahead of you in the Pokedex, even if you're not catching anything. Just because of how they program him to always care about scene instead of being the capturing. You could capture nothing, and he would still be behind you in terms of Pokemon scene. Geo-fucking-Vani. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? This is the man whose one of his variants just never dealt with Red, caught Mewtwo, and then went on to go around a bunch of different dimensions, recruit evil team leaders, and be the leader of all of those evil team leaders. He's also the only evil team leader that's also a gym leader, and he was the 8th gym leader. This dude is the most accomplished villain that we've seen. He's also got a sense of honor, which is also worth something. Okay. Green. Yes, I'm calling him Green. I will argue about this for eternity. This is a hill that I will die on. His name makes more sense to be Green because the versions that were released first were Red and Green. It doesn't matter that they decided to name the English release Blue. This just makes it a lot less confusing to refer to him as Green. Okay. He's actually up here. He's iconic as all hell. We know this. This man will scare everyone. He's also a gym leader, too, so that's all the points. Lance. So where would I put our cheating champion who has a bunch of illegal Pokemon, including an Aerodactyl that knows Rock Slide before it knew Rock Slide, a bunch of illegal Dragonite that are underleveled and know Barrier and other things. I gotta put him at the top of Elite. I don't think he's the strongest champion by far, but the sheer amount of cheating he does just makes me laugh. So I gotta put him there. Okay. I know I don't like to talk about Let's Go, but we're going to talk about Let's Go. We're going to talk about how Trace here is the most disappointing thing to ever exist. We're going to talk about how he really shouldn't be here, how he has Pokemon with like 2 moves in the champion fight. He is disgusting. He is everything that I hate. And I would like to throw him in a dumpster fire. He's also like, okay. Let's Go has the same framing as all the Kanto games. You work for Oak, you go through the league, you beat up Team Rocket, and then you fight your rival as champion. The only reason he got there first is he asked you to go ahead. Instead of Green, who was always ahead of Red, naturally, Trace is always coming up from behind you and giving you free items and just... He's literally told off by Professor Oak for caring too much about his Pokemon and not training them hard enough. A total inversion of what Oak usually says to Green. He is disgusting. End of story. Let's take a look at the remaining members of the Elite Four. Agatha. I like Agatha. She was Oak's rival. She uses ghost types. Very fun. Very destructive. Very dangerous. Very deadly. And then I guess she dies? I don't know what happens in the couple years between the Kanto and the Johto games, but she's not there. And no one really talks to her about it. I'm gonna put her... I'm gonna put her up with old guy Drake. All the old guys to stay together. Bruno's a dick. This is the only trainer that goes out of your way to turn away from you when you beat him. Maybe he's just showing shame, but that just means this man has no honor to take a loss well. So I'm going to disrespect him and put him... I'm gonna put him with Kahili. They go in the disrespected Elite Four tier. Actually, I'm gonna put him just ahead of that group. Lorelei, another character that just randomly disappeared, but I think she's cool. Her Lapras is deadly. It's kind of funny that she's got more water-type Pokemon, it seems, despite being an ice leader. And she's got a really cool arc in the manga, but I can't talk about that because this is game only. Either way, I think I'm going to give her a standard Elite Four ranking around Raihan and Phoebe. I like Phoebe a bit more, but I like her more than Karen. Alright, Kanto Gym Leaders. And after that, it looks like we only have Paldea, Sinnoh, and Unova. The ones who have the most characters to deal with. Blaine. Blaine is cool, and Blaine is constantly referred to as a Fire-type master. I think at one point Blaine could have been a member of the Elite Four. That's just my theory. And then that alone puts him above Cynthia, wow, Cynthia's not here yet. Puts him above Claire. Okay, if we were doing the anime, I might have more to say about Brock. But since it's just the games, I'm gonna put Brock with the other first gym leaders who do well. Erica's okay. She gets to sit around Jasmine and Morty. I like Janine. I like that she exists. I like that Koga has a daughter that he hands off the gym to. We're gonna do... Come on, move. There we go. Koga's cool. Gym leader, moved into the Elite Four, which offers some awesome respect here. Actually, I'm gonna move Blaine ahead. These two lose respect for being from Kalos and having the whole, like, team size issue, so... Lieutenant Surge. He's really cool. I like Surge quite a lot. He can go here. I'm actually gonna move Brock to Brawly. And Misty gets to sit here too, because I'm biased. Sabrina. Fuck it. Okay. Let's talk about Sabrina and why I'm putting her in Living Legend. Not only is she the most terrifying gym leader you can fight in Generation 1, I'd argue she's even stronger than Giovanni outside of levels, because Giovanni can get trashed by any grass type or water type very easily. But Sabrina is terrifying. Her Pokemon are really strong. She's one of the only characters to appear in a bunch of different generations. She became an actress and is probably still doing gym leader stuff. And she's also a psychic and incredibly powerful and just in general really, 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 really cool. Look, hearing the name of any of these living legends should instill some degree of fear. And I think that is, when you hear the name Sabrina, you are afraid. And this is the same reason why I'm putting Oak up here. We know that in order to access the Hall of Fame, you have to be a champion. It's not just professors and champions, because not every professor goes in there. You need to have champion clearance to go in there. Oak goes in there. And I am going to lean a bit on the manga, because it talks more about Agatha and Oak's rivalry. They did have championship matches against each other, and Oak was able to punch out her ghosts with a normal type. And when you fight Oak in the Glitch Generation 1 battle, his Pokemon are on par with, and I think even stronger than the champion. In fact, I'm going to put Oak right here. Rather, right here. Highest ranking professor, worth a bunch of points in my opinion. Okay, I'm gonna put Chase and Elaine down here, mainly because Let's Go. But, they're too young. They're too young, they're too stupid. They have to rely on their partner Pokemon, but they're also kind of adorable, and I don't want to, like, shit on them. I think treating the two of them as beginner trainers that idolize characters like Red and Green and Blue, I think that is worth something. And now we get to another split here. Leaf/Blue, you're not finding her at the top of Mount Silver, unfortunately. That goes to Red. Come on. Go. But I don't think she's not in the Living Legends tier. She's just right there with Oak instead. Okay. Moving on to Paldea, we have a lot of people to get through. So, let's look at Team Star, the 5 bosses. I actually like all of these characters quite a bit. Atticus, I guess, is not my favorite of them. In fact, let me quickly organize them in my favorites order. No, I'm not biased just because Aerie is tall, strong, and can kick my ass. Okay, Let me adjust this tier a bit. I like Piers and Sonia a little bit more than Nessa. I'm gonna put these 5 up here over Raihan. There. Gita. Am I wrong? I mean, I know she's champion. I know she's relatively strong level-wise, even though you can kick her shit in really easily, and that some of her Elite Four members are tougher than her. But she's disappointing for being weak. She has next to no personality, and she's a liar. She says she's incapable of holding back when it comes to Pokemon battling, yet doesn't use her King Gambit properly, or her Glamora properly. So yeah, they're fired. She's fired. Dumpster pit. Nimona. Oh, this one's tough. In terms of accomplishments, she's one of the youngest champions in Paldea. Although, Red beat her by being 11 in Kanto. Oh, this one's tough. Yeah, this one's tough. I like her a lot as a character. I really like her arc. I think I'm gonna put her in Elite, though. I don't think she's a living legend. Not quite yet. Now the rest of the Elite Four. Hassel, Poppy, and Rika. Of course, there's Larry down here, but I'm putting him with the gym leaders, because that's what he is naturally. He's been a gym leader for, I think, like 25 or 30 years. He's been it for a long time. And it sounds like he was mostly a gym leader and then strong-armed into being a member of the Elite Four. I like Hassel a lot. Hassel's really cool. I think I'm going to give him my standard older Elite Four ranking around here. It's around peony level. Poppy. Look. She's a child. She didn't raise those Pokemon. She's like 4 years old. I have this running theory that I've talked about, that her parents were members of the Elite Four and died. She's using one of their teams, and then Larry was brought in to replace the other member who died. And that explains, like, the familial connection that Poppy has with Rika and Hassel and even Larry. Like, they're all taking care of Poppy, because she's an orphan. I like Rika, though. She's around Olivia, I would say. Not as interesting as the others, but I'll put her around there. Paldean gym leaders. Brassius. I kinda like him. I watched this one video of a voice actor coming up with how Brassius would speak, and he's like, "Ooh, avant-garde. He sounds very stupid and crazy, but really fun." So we're gonna keep that in, I'm gonna go with this area. He's got a future. I don't really like Gersh. Gersh is kind of a dick. He's gonna go at the bottom of the disappointing tier of gym leaders. Should be worth mentioning, though, that these are some of the strongest gym leaders that we get. I'm not gonna dive too much into the Blueberry Academy DLC, because I haven't finished it, so I'm not gonna include either of those either of the members of the Elite Four there. But when you bring in a gym leader, they got like levels in the 70s to 80s in that club room. They are insanely strong. I think that alone is going to put some of these gym leaders far higher than they should be. Even though that's like a post-game zone and all that. I'm going to put her around Blaine. I think Blaine is a pretty good benchmark for these guys. I like Kofu. Kofu can go up here. I know everyone's expecting me to put Larry up here, because Larry is fucking god to some of these people, but look, I play Pokemon to get away from working my retail jobs, so I'll put him down here. It's not that I don't respect Larry, I just don't think Larry is the end-all be-all. He gets to stay around here with Rhyme. And here's a dumpster fire. Look, I don't like Tulip. She's incredibly disappointing as a gym leader. I'm already not fond of gym leaders that care more about their regular job than the gym leader job. And we don't have much to go on with her except she likes makeup. And she's annoying. A pain in the ass. She has the stupidest minigame. So yeah, dumpster fire. The dumpster fire tier disobeys all manner of logic. Clavel. Or is that Clive? No, wait, that's Clavel. Okay, I like Clavel a lot. He's a really funny teacher. I like that we get to know him through the Team Star storyline. I like when he's Clive. I like that both of his hairs are wigs. Yeah, this is a toupee, guys. This shit's a toupee. I'm gonna put him up here with Hassel. He's also pretty strong, a team in the 60s, which is Not Elite Four level, but pretty darn close. And, yeah, I like him more than Peony. Okay. So aside from Jock, none of the teachers had Sugimori art, so I had to pull their art from screenshots of Paldean wins. And again, just like the gym leaders, they have absurdly powerful teams in the Blueberry Academy. They're actually quite strong, and you can get to know them through their personal stories in the school. Jock's also your homeroom teacher. He goes to the Indigo Disc, so he's constantly showing up in the game, and I think all of these Elite Four, all of these instructors deserve a bit of respect. I'm gonna put them above Team Star. Yeah. Also, props to Miriam. Her whole story is about getting certified for teaching health. 'Cause that's not a class at the moment. She's just like the nurse there. But she learns to kick ass thanks to you, and she's gonna become a teaching instructor, I think, the next year. I also like Ryfort quite a lot. I like that she's, kinda dark and a bit evil. But she runs, dark and ghost types, and I can respect that. One researcher to another. Saguaro is adorable. Big buff man likes cute things. I'm actually gonna put him above Dendra. I like Dendra, but not as much. Salvatore is cool. Salvatore, I don't know. His name and use of French a lot implies to me that he's Colossian, but he does have a lot of leaning towards Alolan things, so maybe he's Alolan, but I like that he gives you access to a Galarian Meowth, because I think that's the only way to get Berserker, since the forms were transferable. Wow, I can't talk. Were transferable, but Berserker didn't technically exist, so I think they had to do it this way. I would have preferred if he gave out an Alolan Meowth, but that's just me. Yeah, you can go here. And Time was a gym leader and used rock types and is a sister to Rhyme. So, that's a lot of lore and a lot of extra points. I think that puts her over Dendra. Sada and Turo. I don't think anyone will go against me for putting this final boss fight over here. I'm treating these as you-know-who, because I'm not going to spoil this, but they're a great final boss fight, and I really, really like hearing about them and not really seeing them properly until the end of the game. I'm going to put Sabrina above them, but that's just because Sabrina has Gen 1 going for her. Florian and Juliana. These ones are tough to rank. They do a lot of things for the plot. They take out Team Star. They canonically defeat all of the Titans. They canonically beat Nemona. Because you have to beat Nemona in order to engage in the way home, and that is story. So, not to mention they trained Miraidon to be cool as hell. I'm gonna put Juliana above Florian just because I think her portrayal as a more energetic trainer gives her a bit of an edge over Florian's unsure kind of portrayal up here. Alright. Arvin, Carmine, Kieran, and Penny. All of these characters are remarkably powerful. They get Pokemon in the high 60s, I believe, judging by their Academy tournament and the post-game variant of the Indigo Disc. Kieran has his development, his downward spiral, And I have seen what he looks like when he engages in that downward spiral and how powerful he becomes, but I'm not going to go too in-depth with that. I think all of these 4 are worthy of elite. The question is where. Tell you what, I'm gonna put them above silver. Yeah, above bead. Yeah, these two have a good arcs. Penny's arc is a little worse in my opinion because she's predictable. And we're gonna put Kieran up here. I like Kieran's arc more than I like Kieran. In fact, beating Kieran's ass is always satisfying because he's a whiny bitch. But, yeah. We're gonna go forward now. Okay. Charon. Whatever that planet's name is, moon's name is, God's name is. I don't actually know if you get to battle him. I don't remember. I don't think he has one, but I have to respect the lab coat. So for that alone, I'm going to put him down here with Magnolia. He does become the leader in Platinum after Cyrus disappears. And speaking of Cyrus, this guy kicks ass. He's kind of like a dark flying type trainer, but I can respect that. I like the dark type, and I like the flying type. Not as much as I don't hate it as much as I used to, now that we're not forced to have one in our party. But, I don't think he's top of elite either. I think he can comfortably sit with Lusamine. Unfortunately, his grunts, or rather his grunts are not nearly as interesting. His admins are better than these 3, but we're gonna put him up here. Cynthia. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? One of the strongest champions. She's also got some meme force, and she loves ice cream. How can I not rank her super high? Aaron's a dumpster fire. He's got like a Beautifly and a Dustox in some versions. And just, I don't even know how he made it into the Elite Four. It questions everything. I think he was a bug gym leader, like a bug maniac or something at one point, but they somehow ascended him to the Elite Four, and that's incredibly disappointing. Bertha might be a daughter of Agatha, which I think is cool, or like somewhat related to Agatha. Might be her sister. I guess it depends on how old Agatha is. But we also don't know too much about her. I'm gonna rank her around Nanu. Nanu gets a little bit more of a point, though. Flint is cool. I love his friendship with Volkner. I'm gonna put him up with the cool Elite Four members. He's cooler than Raihan. Lucian, we know Jack Diddley about him, so he's gonna go here with Glacia. Byron is cool. I like that he's the father of Rourke. He's also got a connection to Riley down here with asking him to be a gym leader. I'm gonna put him with the other dad. Candace. A little disappointing. Crasher Wake's okay. Fantina's okay. Gardenia. Not as interesting. Oh, she's got that rose raid. I'm gonna put her ahead. Maylene's kind of neat. Rourke. You're not nearly as iconic. You can sit back a bit. In fact, I'm gonna shift these down a bit. Yeah, I think these leaders are all more interesting. There, okay. Volkner, you get bonus points just for being cool. You get to sit with Karina and Valerie. Okay, now we're moving on to the... Excuse me. Now we're moving on to the Diamond and Pearl Battle Frontier. Argenta, you are not interesting. You're up here with Nolan because you just randomly get a Pokemon. Thornton, you are down here with Nolan as well because you just randomly get a Pokemon. Dahlia, I think her name is? I believe her gimmick is that roulette wheel, which I think is kind of fun. I'm gonna put her around like maybe Greta and Spencer. Darush. We're just gonna call him Derek. Derek is cool. I like that he works for Caitlin. He's like, you don't realize he's the brain because he appears as the attendant first and then he battles you as the brain, which is actually really kind of cool. I'm gonna put him up here with Pike Queen Lucy. Palmer gets bonus points for being a dad, so he goes up here. Rowan is cool. I think he might be the best professor that you can't fight. So I'm gonna put him above Birch. You know what? He's also a trainer or a professor who goes into the Hall of Fame room, so I'm gonna put him above Diantha. Actually, you know what? Above Sycamore. Dawn and Lucas. I specifically picked their platinum variants here because obviously Giratina's cool. And being able to fight and catch Giratina is even cooler. And making that part of the story. So, the question is, where do I put these guys? I don't think they're as legendary. And I guess they do catch a god and have the chance to catch another god. I'm gonna put them... I'm gonna put them above Elio and Sun. Yeah, I think that's a relatively fair ranking. Did the music stop again? Barry. Barry. Not the coolest rival. He's not bad. He's more interesting than Wally, I'll give him that. Stat trainers. I like that Buck is Flint's brother. I think that's really cool. He has that whole story with Heatran, and you get to battle with him in the battleground and in the trainer tower area. So that's pretty cool. Is he better than any of the Elite Fours, though? Aside from this, I don't think the kid has a lot of accomplishments going for him, which might dock him a bit. I think around Gladian's probably a good ranking for all of these characters. Marley gets a bit of extra points because Arcanine. Cheryl, because she's the first one you meet. Mira is completely optional. You don't even have to go into the part of the cave that you find her. But Riley's kind of top dog here. His Lucario's really cool. He gives you an egg and strength. Yeah, he's interesting. I like him. These 5 all have a lot of potential. Do I even have to explain why Looker up here is a living legend? Because I'm not going to explain. Alright, on to Generation 5. We have Colress. I really like Colress. He's really cool. And then he shows back up in Alola as like a semi-decent person. He's gotta be like one of the only villains that got off scot-free and like didn't necessarily have a change of heart. Then he shows up in the Rainbow Rocket storyline and just tells off Getsus. Yeah, this guy's cool. And he's got a pretty sick team. I don't think, though, he's got enough accomplishments to put him above the brains? Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put him at Pike Queen Lucy level. Even above Pike Queen Lucy. Getsus. Now this is a terrifying evil team leader. I'm gonna put him... Yeah, I'm gonna put him here. Not only do you fight him and N instead of Alder, in like where the champion fight would be, but this guy is also metal enough to try to kill Rosa and Nate with Q-Room. Actually, that makes him cooler than Hassel, by far. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Alder. Cool old man. Pretty strong. I love his story about his original partner Pokemon being dead and the Volcarona he uses as a new one. I don't even know what his original partner was. Maybe it's the Volcarona, another Volcarona, I don't know. But I don't know if people in the Pokemon world would get another Pokemon of the same species when their Pokemon dies. I know some people can't even stomach themselves to get a dog after their dog dies, so... Cool old man zone. Right around there. Iris. This is strictly the game Iris. If we were talking about the anime Iris, we would be doing something else. I still don't like her as a champion, though. She's not cool. But she's not Diantha. I'll put her up with... with the title defenders, Guzma and Plumeria. I think that's fair. Caitlyn. We've got her connection to Cynthia, which is really cool. Her connection to Daruk, which is really cool. I'm actually going to rank her pretty high. She's also a strong psychic. I'm going to put her right here. She's actually really cool. I like when they do that. I like when games are clearly set in the future of another game. You can put them on a timeline. And this time difference shows that people are growing and changing and doing things. Character development. World development, lore, these are all cool. And that is important, because not doing that makes your game stupid. I'm also gonna put Grimsley up pretty high. I like Grimsley a lot. He also shows up in Sun and Moon, so extra appearances get extra bonuses. I'm gonna rank him... I'm actually going to rank him in between the brains, just because he doesn't really look like he's doing quite well in Sun and Moon. He kind of looks really down on his luck, and like he's aged 10 years, even though like only a handful of years passed between Sun and Moon and the Unova games. So I'm going to put him right here. Marshall. I think Marshall's pretty cool, but not as interesting. He goes with the other nifty Elite Four members. I like Chantal a lot. That might just be my own bias because she's a type user and a writer herself, but she gets bonus points, fuck you. She can go up here. The bonus points and my bias put her above Annabelle. Okay, we have Bryson, Ice-type gym leader, which would normally deduct some points, but he's also an actor, and the Bryson Man movies are hilarious. Especially all, like, the cult variants that you can get. I love the different versions of the movies you can make. They're very cool. I am gonna make him... he goes with the old guys. Berg. Kind of annoying. I'm gonna put you towards the... he's not here. You're like Watson level. Chili, Siren, and Cress. You are all basically the same thing. You are pretty cute, though. Look at these three. They're adorable. Might just be the art, but... yeah, I'm gonna put them... right about here. I like Chili's personality a bit more. Cress is just too calm. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Clay. Very business tycoon. Driftvale City is pretty neat. His Excadrill is not easy to fight. That's worth a couple points. I think I'm gonna put him up here with the other, like... I think he's the 4th gym leader, so there's a lot of 4th gym leaders here. I like Drayden a lot. Drayden's really cool. I'd put him around Blaine. I think he could easily be an Elite 4 member if he wanted. Elisa's really cool too. I like her design change between black and white and black 2 and white 2. I like her electric types. Pokemon Masters gives her another outfit where she's paired with a Rotom, which is also worthwhile of giving points. I don't think she's elite, though. I'm gonna put her up here with Brock. No, she goes with the dads. Lenora's okay. I don't like or hate her. She can sit with, over here. Marlin is a nothing. We know next to nothing about. But I don't hate him, so he can sit at the top of that. Roxy, you get bonus points because you're also a rock star, and you have a sweater that looks like a shiny coughing. You can go with Whitney, because you're both memes. Let's see. Skyla. Friends with Elisa. Pretty cool. Her gym fires you out of a cannon, which is interesting. You can sit with Flannery. I think that's fair. Benga. Okay, you are Alder's, like, grandson, I want to say. And you run the White Tree Hollow and the Black Tower, I think is what it's called. Battle facility heads are very strong. They tend to have access to legendaries and pretty strong competitive level teams. He's not interesting, though, which docks points. I'm gonna put him above Diantha, though. Emmett and Ingo. I think I have to rank him with Grimsley, but I have to split the brothers up. I don't want to, but Ingo is Ingo. How can I not put Ingo up here? Not only is he an incredible trainer in like the battle subway and whatnot, but he's also able to train more Pokemon in Hisui than anyone else until the post-game. And that is props. That just shows how good of a trainer he is. In a world where there's really no trainers. Juniper, I just like you more than Sycamore. You don't really have other things on there. I know you have a Minccino, And in Black 2 and White 2, it's a cinch, you know, so you at least train Pokemon. So that's a point, I guess. Okay. Hilbert and Hilda. Dumb names aside, these guys were going to be the next Red. They were going to program a battle between the Rosa and Nate and Hilbert and Hilda, and I think that would have been really, really cool, but they didn't, and that makes it disappointing. Although you are, again, canonically a legendary capturing champion, or rather champion level, since you technically don't beat the champion unless it counts beating N, but I'm gonna put you guys down here. In fact, you're above Leon. Nate and Rosa. Okay, I have to do this. The memes put her above. The memes put her above. And the fact that she's still very powerful and just really cool in general. I like her use of Superior. It matches well. I personally like to tie the generation, or the second, the sequel game protagonists and rival to the Swords of Justice, since the Tau trio is taken up. But you can still catch Kyurem, so I guess that's points for her. But I think she goes well with Virizion, and I would... You know how I feel about Virizion, so we're gonna put her up here, where she belongs. And Nate... Nate is a good point to bring up the PWT. I'm not sure if that's really actual people that are participating in there, because Giovanni is there, and he's a wanted fugitive. But even if it is a hologram, like AI stadium thing, that should be worth some degree of points. I'm gonna put him at the end of Living Legend, just for the chance that he's able to beat every one of those trainers. Hugh is cool. He's going to go with the edgy rival. A little bit better than Gladion, though. Bianca and Sharon, they are really cool. Again, the time skip shows change, and I like seeing that. I like seeing character development. I like that Bianca and Sharon switched, that she's wearing his glasses. And even though Bianca's not much of a threat as a rival, she has a good story arc of dealing with her parents that don't think she should be a trainer. Although I think it's mostly her dad, not just both of her parents. But regardless, that will put her up here, I think is a fair ranking. Same with Sharon. You can also link your copy of Black and White to Black 2 and White 2, and then they use the teams that they had on that game in a side fight that you can get, which is cool. And that just leaves us with N as our final ranking member on this tier list. So, let's see. He's a member of an evil organization, he changes his ways and shows character development, he's essentially a champion-level fighter, and he has a dragon. That is a legend. And he's as good as some of these player characters. Let's put him up here with Silver. Above Silver. Yeah. That is everyone. So, I'm gonna say this is my list. Starting from the bottom, we have Aaron of the Sinnoh Elite Four, Tulip of the Paldean League, Gita of the Paldean League, Poppy of the Paldean League, Juan of the Emerald Gym Leaders, Tierno and Trevor, rivals of Kalos, Trace, champion, air quote, of Kanto. Then we have Chase and Elaine, protagonists of Let's Go, Shauna, rival of that, and you know what? There are too many of these to give all of their names, and I don't even remember all of these four's names anyway, so you see them, and this video has been going on for over almost 2 hours, so we are just going to let you see the list, And then I'm gonna recount my tops. Red, of course, has to be ahead. Gloria for the memes. Rosa for the memes. Cynthia for the memes. Giovanni because he's terrifying and cool. Green because he's terrifying and cool. Oak because he is Oak. Blue/Leaf because she is just girl red. Steven because he's one of the most respected champions. Kukui because he's shirtless. Well, not really. He's got a lab coat on, but... Ingo because he's Ingo. Sabrina because she's Sabrina. Sada and Turo because you know why. Looker because he's the doctor. And Nate. Alright. Well, that is all that I had for this, and before this video becomes 2 hours long, I just want to thank all of you for watching. Hit the subscribe, the like button, whatever. I don't really like saying these things. It's dumb and I don't like doing it, but I might as well. That is all I have had to say. Be excellent to each other, and party on.